Grand rising, good day, and good night. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to 144 from the stars, Tarot. Let's go ahead and give our companion Odin here a treat for his presence and his time. Thank you very much, sir. Nope, you didn't get all of it. All right, give me a minute. Odin's got to get all his treat. He can't just get partial payments. There you go. You got it all. Good job. All right. So the totem for this message is a gnome. That was per Trina's request. I asked her yesterday, you got an idea for the totem? She's been saying gnome here and there. So today's the day that gnome is your totem. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started with some word. I'm going to be reading from the book of Isaiah. I'm going to be reading from chapter 66, and I'm going to read verse 12 through 16. For thus says Yahuwah, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the other nations like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, ye shall be borne upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforts, so will I comfort you. And ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of Yahuwah shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation towards his enemies. For behold, Yahuwah will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahuwah plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahuwah shall be many. One of the things that I found interesting in that scripture, I almost closed it. Let me go back to it. He said something along the lines of, as one whom his mother comforts, so will I comfort you. And this is one of the first times I have seen God refer to himself in a feminine way, because he basically said, I will mother you. So I thought that was interesting. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get started with this message. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you greatly. All right. Now, while I am shuffling these Moonology cards, I'm just going to discuss something with you guys real quick. There is a feature on YouTube that content creators can take advantage of, and it allows subscribers to join the channel. It's like a subscription-based membership. Now, I have not made that available. I have, over a period of time, seen many people suggest that I do. The reason why I hadn't so far is because I kind of had a moral dilemma with having a membership on my channel. For one, I think messages, I think guidance, I think truth, I think information should be free. So I have a hard time being like, okay, yeah, I'll offer a membership, and then there's membership only readings. I have a moral dilemma with that, because I think that the guidance and love and information and truth should be free. So that's the main reason why I have abstained from that. But I still have people asking if they could do that, if I could activate that. So I just have a question. Do any of you have any feedback on that? I thought about, like, maybe I could make like 2 tiers. Like, I don't know, like maybe like the base one would be like Odin supporters. And then like the next one would be, I don't know, like Odin's generals or something like that. And it would just be simply because you wanted to be a part of the community and you wanted to support and put your energy into it. you can. I'm also curious, what do you guys suggest? Because another moral dilemma I have is like, why would I even like allow someone to pay me something unless I'm doing a service to them? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to like, so I don't know. I'm just curious if any of you have any feedback or suggestions. Is that something you would be interested in? And how would I make it fair if I were to offer that? Anyways, let's go ahead. Let's continue with the message. We have new moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. And then we've got North Node. Step out of your comfort zone. So, and then we've got right here, full moon in Libra, a win-win outcome is forecast. So it definitely seems like there is something that you are being guided to step into confidently. I feel like you are being guided to step into your power. I'm getting a hint of like, I don't know, take this torch and guide your way to destiny. Like it kind of feels like that. Like someone might be stepping into their purpose of why you are here, what you came here to do, or maybe you are here to fulfill something greater or deeper. And I don't know. This is almost like as if like God has put a fire within you and it's like, okay, I know it's time to take this seriously. I've got to answer this call. All right. And it seems like, this is going to be very favorable for you. Full moon in Libra, a win-win outcome is forecast. If you can just step out of your comfort zone, be confident in yourself, be empowered, and take this position or take the lead or walk this walk or take this torch and lead the way for others, it definitely feels like someone might be stepping into like a leadership kind of role or yeah. Okay. So this is reminding me of a conversation I had with my daughter. Funny how that sometimes happens with these readings. I was explaining to her, about being a leader or being a boss. And one of the things that I told her was along the lines of if you want to be a good leader, then you have to be something people will follow. And you do that by being an example. You don't boss people around or try to control them or rule with tyranny or control or ego. You rule with love. You show them by example how they can be, and they will pick up their wand and follow you as well. So it could be something like you're stepping into a leadership role, but it's not necessarily like it's a title or a position or a job necessarily, like you're a manager or a boss. It could just be that you're being called to be an example for people. You're being an example, and many people may look up to you and feel inspired by the way you walk, by the way you talk, by the path you chose. And that in of itself would make you a leader because now you are showing people where maybe they would like to go. And so I'm getting this like, stepping into your true skin, stepping into your true self and being comfortable with who you are, feeling confident about it and leading the way, and then possibly even leading the way for others. Okay. Can we go ahead and get it oracle for this message? We have chop wood. Of course, that's the first word. It really, the first work. Of course, that is the first card. It definitely seems like it's time to get to work on something. We have this Y card at the bottom of the deck. And, something and with this fork in the road. So it could be that someone is taking a different path in life. And this may have to do with career. This may have to do with a spiritual purpose. It definitely seems like there is work involved in this. And there may be something that would help guide you or help to understand is know why you're doing it and remind yourself that along the way, constantly. So why are you doing it? What is the purpose of this? And, where is this going to lead you? I'm seeing this 13 energy as well. Well, we actually have 1331. We have 1331. So it definitely seems like there is a beginning. There's an expansion. There is Trinity energy in here, and there's also ascended energy. And then there's another beginning with that. So it definitely seems like someone is stepping into a more masterful plan or a more masterful craft. You may have learned a lot from your previous studies or your previous ventures or journeys. And I'm kind of getting this energy of almost like alchemizing very different experiences and lessons and coming to a more universal or, yeah, I think that's the best word, universal truth with that. So I do feel like whatever this is, it's going to appeal to a unique audience, or it'll appeal to a vast audience due to the vast experience that you have gathered. Beautiful. Okay. Can we get another oracle before we dive into some tarot? We have mending. So it definitely seems like you might be perfecting something. You might be healing something as well, or you might be correcting something. Maybe you have tried something in the past and it didn't work out the greatest, or maybe you have, you know, learned from something, whether you want to call it a mistake or whatever. It was a lesson, and I'm seeing that someone is applying what they learned from it, and you're reapproaching something. I also feel like there is, because there's like this weaving energy in this card, and there's also like a childlike innocence to this. So it's kind of like weaving something, creating something with this childlike innocence, this purity to it, this pure of intent. Maybe it's curious, maybe it's open-minded, maybe it's loving, maybe it's fun, maybe it's creative. Either way, it definitely seems like it's well-spirited, and that should be something to remind yourself of along the way. I'm definitely getting this energy of know why you're doing this, know why you're on this path. The why seems intentional. Okay. All right, I'm feeling led to pull some tea leaves, so that's what we're going to do. What else do you have for this message? We have broken wishbone. Wish will not be granted. I'm going to go ahead and stop right there and pull tarot on this broken wishbone. What about this broken wishbone? I just noticed that the deck has a 4-4 sandwich. We got the 4 swords at the top of the deck and the 4 cups at the bottom of the deck. Moving forward, we got this King of Cups reversed. Something was upsetting, something was hurtful, or, all right. This could be that something had upset or hurt because it didn't give you the outcome you desired. This could also be the reason why this wishbone is broken, the wish will not be granted, is because someone's heart wasn't in the right place. Now, this could be your energy or this could be someone else's. I'm kind of feeling both in this. This is a general message. All right, can we get a little more? What about this King of Cups and this broken wishbone? Is this what we're mending? Did someone try to do something in the past, but maybe your reasons for doing it, or maybe the emotions that you got back from it wasn't fulfilling? So like, I don't know, let's say because for some of you, this might not be necessarily a moral thing. And we've got this Fool at the bottom of the deck. So we'll get there in a second. This doesn't necessarily have to be a moral thing. This could be something like, let's say you felt inspired to do something and you put your all into it in hopes that it would grow, in hopes that it would prosper, in hopes that maybe it would bring you a return, and maybe it hasn't. And maybe that's disheartening. Maybe that hurt your feelings. Maybe that was upsetting. Maybe that was like caused some like doubts or a period of reflection. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I really doing what I'm called to be doing? Like, why is this not working out for me? So maybe there was like a period of reflection or a period of like reassessment. I put a lot of time and energy into this, but what I'm getting back in return, if I am getting back in return, isn't exactly fulfilling me. I'm not overly satisfied with this emotionally or on a soul level. I feel like there's more to this. And maybe someone has taken some time reflecting on this and you're ready to reapproach this with different parameters. So I don't know. Let's say before you were putting everything into it. So it was like day and night, you were putting all of this into it. And maybe that caused a disbalance in your life. I don't know. But I feel like someone is learning from this and they are through a little bit of self-criticism, which is healthy, and then a little bit of like adjustments, you are realigning what you felt inspired to do in the first place. And I think you're getting back into the why of it, of why you started. So maybe you had already picked up on something and you went through it, and maybe, throughout the journey, maybe you started getting more so like the why was supposed to be the outcome. And maybe you stopped seeing the outcome come to fruition, and then this upsets you. So maybe there was like this reassessment of, wait a minute, am I doing this for the outcome, or am I doing this for a different purpose? And maybe you had to go back and look at, why did I originally start this? Well, maybe you just started this to be helpful. Maybe you just started this to be of service or from a place of love. And then maybe along the way, you set your eyes on some other things, and maybe you started, your intentions kind of shifted, and maybe this shifted the product because you were coming into it with a different energy. And that may have been why you didn't get the return that you were expecting or hoping for. And it could be that there was just an adjustment that needed to occur with your intent and purpose in it, and realign yourself back to the core of it. And it's love based, right? You're doing this of love. You're doing this from a heart, not to get rich, not to, have all these things, which may well come from that. So I don't know. It seems like someone is coming back, like you feel re-inspired, like maybe after a little bit of hurt, maybe after a little bit of upset, maybe after some reflection, you're realizing, this is still for me. I just need to change my approach. Perfect. We've got the Fool at the bottom of the deck, and then we've got the Universe. So like there's definitely like, let's close out this cycle and let's stick to the truth of the matter of why I'm doing this, and let that be my motivation to keep going forward. Not the destination, but the purpose of the journey. Not where not where the journey is going to lead you to, not the outcome, not the fruits of it, but the purpose of the walk in of itself. That'll take you so much further. All right. So I do feel like there's like a lesson here that has been learned, and it's being applied. So there's growth. I'm observing a growth that someone has experienced within. All right. Is there anything else you would like the collective to know about this King of Cups before I pick it up? Yeah, that's that hanged one. And that's part of this upset, is like, I put all this time and energy into this, but I feel stuck. I feel like I'm not going anywhere. Now, why would I be led to do something if it's not even going to come to fruition, or it's not even going to prosper? Am I in the wrong? Is my intuition wrong? Did I misunderstand something? I feel like there was a lot of reflection that occurred here, but I do feel like someone has gained some sense of illumination, and we've got this Wheel of Fortune. So it does seem like someone feels a sense of fated purpose. Like this is fated to be, this is your purpose and intent. And maybe you just had to learn something about yourself in order to perfect your craft or your approach as you continue. All right. I'm going to set this down, and I'm going to go back to these tea leaves real quick. What else would you like the collective to know in this message? We have eagle, triumph over troubles, obstacles. Also, as well, because you have gained a higher perspective of yourself, your path, and where you are headed, or why you're being led, this is going to allow you to overcome this rut or this obstacle. What I really feel like is like a block or stagnation is being lifted, and it's being lifted because of an internal realization, and then a correction based from that realization. So you're adjusting something about yourself or the situation or the product or the work or the craft, whatever it is. And this is going to really take you further, because it's like kind of like going back to the basics for a second, and then remembering those core fundamentals, and then going back out there. Like, you've learned a lot. Let's get back to the basics. Let's get back to, why are you doing this? What is the purpose of this? And then go back at and continue. So I do feel like there is a lot of growth that is ahead. I feel like someone is about to really expand or take off more so than you have experience. Like, it's almost like as if you got a vision of something. Like, let's say, for example, you felt the inspiration to create a YouTube channel, and then you put a lot of time and energy into it, and maybe you learned from that experience. Maybe it helped you understand yourself. Maybe you healed some things. Maybe you connected with people, but maybe it never really grew, or it never really took off, or it never really became what you felt it could become. And maybe you've got to make ends meet. I mean, 2 views a week ain't gonna pay the bills, and you still got to do what you got to do to take care of yourself. So there may be this, like, I've I've got to make the demands of life. I've got to pay the bills. I got to provide for my family. I got to provide for myself, but yet I still feel called and inspired to do this. How do I answer this call, but also balance all of other aspects of life? How do I provide for my family? How do I provide for myself? How do I do all of these things and yet still answer this call? And I feel like someone is starting to get a healthier understanding. And maybe it is something about, working at a different pace. Maybe you were pushing yourself too hard, or you had an expectation that it had to look like this or it had to be like this in order to be successful. And maybe you're lightening up a little bit, or maybe you've lifted an expectation of your work off of it. And you're like, let's say, for example, you had a desire to help someone, right? So then you post a video out there and you get some feedback, you get some views, and you feel like you helped someone. But then this, like, later on, this doubt comes in and it's like, I only helped a few people. Is this really worth my time? Am I really being helpful? Am I really? And this is where that devil comes in, right? To like snuff out the light, to get you to question things, to get you to doubt yourself, to doubt the purpose. And now you start to lose the reason of why you started. So I do feel like someone is coming back full circle, and you might be revisiting something again with a fresh set of eyes and a higher perspective. And this is going to allow a healthier progression and a smoother growth path. All right. What else would you like the collective to know? Wow, that came out hard. Like magician. Like, bam, I'm going to do it. It's like, now it's like, I understand now what I need to do to create this, or I understand what this is a little better. But still, it's like understanding that it's within you, that it wasn't something outside of yourself. It wasn't something that was blocking you. It wasn't that you were wrong or like doing something. It was just, there may have been an adjustment that needed to occur within. And I feel like someone is making that and you're applying it. And now you're going to really start to see things prosper or come to fruition in a different way than you were before. And I feel like this is healthier and this is filled with more abundance and spirit. And I feel like someone is going to experience a period of like success, of growth, and satisfaction of what you're doing, satisfaction of what you're able to accomplish, and actually feeling fulfilled. Even if it's not making the expectations you previously had, I feel like someone had to lessen some of those expectations. Maybe you had some like perfectionism in it, or maybe you were shooting to the moon and stars and was kind of hoping it would happen a little quicker than it is. It doesn't mean you're not going to make it to that destination. It just means that the journey you are in right now is just as important. And there might be something to learn about it to get you to that final destination. But really, it's the moment to moment walk that matters, and the intention of why you're doing it. And then we've got this 7 of Wands. So again, I'm getting this like empowered, fortified energy. I feel like someone's willpower has just gotten like stronger. Like your heart's in it now. Your energy is into it. Maybe before these flames were dwindling. Maybe there was doubt. Maybe there was fear. Maybe there was stress. Maybe there was wounds of not being good enough, or, whatever it may be. Some kind of shadow came in, and now we have illuminated that. We've shined a light on that, and we've learned something about ourselves. And now we are applying what we have learned, and we're moving forward in a more empowered and sovereign way. So what's this going to look like? This change of perspective, Empress, 9 of Pentacles, and then double Empress, because the deck wanted to split open to another Empress, and a 3 of Pentacles. Look at all this Pentacle and Earth, right? And it was as soon as I asked, how is this going to, affect? How is this going to change things? And now we've got this Ace of Swords right on top of the King of Pentacles. Look at all this Pentacle. 9 of Pentacles, Empress, 10 of Pentacles. Just split the deck to 10 of Pentacles again. So like, all right. So it seems like now you have the right ingredients. Like, oh, now we cooking with grease. Okay, we getting it. It's hot now. It's hot and ready. So I don't know. Maybe you about to serve something piping hot, and people are going to love it, and they're going to come back for some more. All right. I do feel like whatever you are putting energy into is going to come back to you in a way that, because you're not expecting it, it's going to really surprise you. And there's something about like loosening our grip on things. Like we do something, and sometimes as a human, we like expect it to look like this, or we expect this out of it. And sometimes it's better to just do it with like an open heart and an open mind with the right intention, and then let go. Just surrender and allow whatever needs to come back of that situation to you to come back naturally without trying to like force it to be something you think it's supposed to be. So I do feel like someone has relaxed a little bit, and because you have released this tension, now there's room for stuff to come in because you're not trying to control what's coming in. So I do feel like someone has realigned themselves, and this is good. Empress energy, and I'm talking about receiving, right? So maybe you stopped being this emperor energy, like I've got to control everything, I got to be in charge of everything, I got to produce all of this, I got to be in this masculine energy, and maybe you're realizing, no, I just got to do it with the right intentions, and then sit back and let it come back to me. Empress energy, I receive. I receive. What are you receiving? Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, turning into the King of Pentacles. So like, then we have this establishment. Now you are establishing yourself in this world, and this is going to grow. I do feel like there might be something about a platform or online content or community. I do feel that energy in here. So if that resonates, absolutely, I'm picking up on that energy. I do feel forward movement and growth. And I do feel like this is going to change your life. And this is really good because one of the things that kind of sucks about this experience, like just as a human being or as a man or as a woman, sometimes we have to do what's necessary to make ends meet, and sometimes that's not what we feel in our heart and soul. Like maybe you want to be a dancer or something, but unless you're like on a TV show, or unless you're like you have some kind of way to gain revenue from it. I mean, you dancing around in your room, while that might fulfill you, I don't know. I mean, is that going to keep the lights on? And then it's like, well, no, I guess I got to go to that job that I really don't like. I got to clock in. I got to put in this time. But I do feel like there's like this healthy patience and understanding of like, if I keep doing this with the right reasons and I just let go, I will be pleasantly surprised of what comes. And you're right, you will be. This is going to come in and like really kind of shape up and change your resources in life. I do feel like someone is going to gain some more capital. I just feel it. I feel a lot of like finances in this, a lot of material, and I feel like you're going to be able to take this abundance and pour it into your craft and let it grow some more. Okay. Also, there's like clarity and truth and spoken. There could be something about spoken word, like maybe you're speaking about something, you're talking about something, because like what I'm hearing is a lyric that says, "It tastes like money when I speak." Judgment. Uh-huh. I do feel that. It's like someone has put themselves in alignment, almost like as if your words are going to oscillate out with this reverberation based off of your intention, and it's going to have an effect. And then the dharma, the good energy that emanated and resonated and echoed, rippled throughout, is going to reverberate back to you, and it's going to come back. And I feel like there's like this energy of, you might not realize how much you've already done. Like, and sometimes we base or judge the value of something based on what it produced or based on the results. And while that makes sense, that's not always the case. And we're also looking at, when we do that, we're looking at it short-sighted. So I do feel like there was like this zoom out perspective that occurred, and it was like, you're going to be pleasantly surprised by how much you've already accomplished, that you may have been a little hard on yourself before. You're going to realize that that was a foundation. Like, you were putting in work, and that wasn't for naught. Like, did it come back with $1 million already? I don't know, maybe not, but it was still valuable. It was important. You learned something, you taught someone something, you healed from something, and you gained in some kind of way. And this gave you the tools you need within, magician, to continue forward with the Seven of Wands. And now you're in this Empress energy. This is where you're headed into, or you're already in it, right? You're already in this mode of, I'm going to receive. Okay, I'm going to pick these up. We're going to continue with Tarot. Let's see what else Spirit would like you to know. We got the Star. We got the Star. And then we got this Judgment, Chariot, Ace of Swords, King of Pentacles, and Empress. Lovers poking out, and then this Tower on top of the Lovers. So because you chose to go back to love, because you chose to remind yourself of the why, reevaluate, change some things, this is what's going to cause that sudden shift in change. Okay? I mean, it's just like, it's really big. Like you took action out of love, and that's what's going to change it. You realigned your intention and purpose, and now you're in this tempered energy because you just know it's going to come back and you're going to receive it. So we have this star energy with the Ace of Swords. So it's either you realize you are a star, or you're meant to be a star, or what you're speaking, what you're saying, what you think, what you know is the reason why you're the star. This is going to take you very far, okay, with this Chariot and this Empress on top of the Five of Wands, okay? This Empress didn't become an Empress because she was just born privileged and was just perfect from the beginning. No, this Empress went through hell, okay? That's why she's on top of the Five of Wands. You had to fight your way to get here. You had to overcome many things within yourself, many things outside of yourself, right? But you're here. You're still here, and you're still on this path, and it's taking you forward. And it just feels like there is, maybe someone felt hopeless, or maybe someone felt lost, or maybe someone felt like, I don't know, some kind of doubt in some kind of way, but you're going to feel inspired again, and you're going to feel confident, and you're going to feel motivated, and you're going to see that it was good, that what you did was good, and that it's going to come back, and it's going to keep coming back. All right. So I feel like you have done more than you realize. And another thing with growth is, just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not occurring. All right. So let's say we're standing on the surface of the ground and we planted a seed. We planted the seed in the ground, and we're looking at it, and we're looking at it, and we're looking at it, and days pass, water's on it, sun's on it, we sing to it, we dance around it, we love it, we pray to it, we read bedtime stories to this seed. We put all our time and energy. This seed is our baby, but we don't see anything. I don't see anything. It's been a while now, and I don't see anything above the surface. What's going on? But what you don't see is that something has cracked open and it's took root. And it has to establish this root system before it can flourish and rise up. So again, I feel like someone is going to have a change in perspective about your work or what you've accomplished, because you're going to see how intentional and purposeful each step along the way was. And it's like you're going to grow. I just feel like someone's really about to take off. Like after a period of stagnation, after a period of frustration, after a period, like I feel like there was like some hopelessness, some pain, some tears, some cry, like, like I'm putting everything into this, and I'm starting to feel like a little lost. Like, am I on a fool's errand? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or have I just been duped? No, you're okay. You just got to persevere. You got to have that long sight, that perseverance to keep going, stick to it, commit to it. What else would you like the collective to know? We've got the King of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. This is where you're like the energy and where you're headed as well. It's like current moment, but also your future. So there's this energy of, after this death and this Four of Wands, right? After this death and this Four of Wands, I do feel like there was like some form of ego death or ego dissolution, at least some kind of adjustment to it. Something had to be reborn within you. And I do see that happening. I mean, this King of Swords does literally have wings of fire on him. So, I mean, it seems clear that you have some kind of divine inspiration, or you have an ability to traverse realms with your mind. And I feel like that's going to take you very far. I feel like someone has a very powerful mind, or just a unique awareness. And this is going to bring you a lot. I feel like it's going to bring you a lot of attention. And because you have gained a lot of attention, this is going to translate into material and pentacle. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave those out here. What else would you like the collective to know? The universe. You're closing out some cycle. I feel like something was to lay down the foundation, to open something up so it can develop a network of rooted system of it, so it could have an ability to stand upright. And there was also this moment of healing, reflection, growth, and then this little bit of like initiation of the shadow. Like you had to face something about yourself. You had to come, yeah, and that candle started popping right when I said that. You had to face something about yourself. It wasn't that you weren't enough. It wasn't that this wasn't meant to be. There was just something you weren't seeing about yourself, or there was something you weren't understanding, or there was just something that was slightly misplaced or out of alignment. And it's okay. You're on a journey. You're on a journey. So I feel like that period of cloudiness or doubt or unsureness, that's what's coming to a close. And instead, it's like I have this illumination, I have this awareness, and that's what's going to allow me to grow. That's what's going to take me farther because I now understand the purpose of the path. The purpose is not the destination. Even though as a human, you might be like, well, let's try to translate this in a different way. Let's say you had an inspiration to write a book. And then, you were like excited, and then you started imagining how your life would be after you wrote this book, and that made you happy, that made you excited. And then you thought about, you imagined whatever, you envisioned your future after writing this book. And then you're like, okay, you got so excited about what your life might look like after you answered this call that now when you're writing the book, you're writing the book with the intention of, oh, this is what my life's going to be like after I make all this. And you might have forgot why you were inspired to write the book in the first place. So then you get stumped and you're like, why do I have this writer's block? Why can't I get pen on paper? Why am I feeling stuck? And we got to realign our intention, our purpose. And I feel like that's what someone has accomplished. And now we've got this 6 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck on top of this 10 of Pentacles. And, that page of fire underneath this 6 of Pentacles is letting me know that something is young, something is new, something is still developing. Something is still developing. And there's something interesting about growth. Like sometimes so much growth can occur, but you don't really see it. And then all of a sudden it's just like very evident and it seems to grow overnight. And this is where you hear about people who had success overnight. Did they really? Did they really have success overnight? Or did their success finally just blow up after all the hours and days and nights that they put into it? And it finally returned in full. Okay. What else would you like the collective to know? The Lovers. Do it because you love it. Do it out of love. Make every decision you do from the heart and it'll grow. You do it of love, it'll grow. I mean, God created us out of love. Creation itself is an expression of love. Yeah, and then we've got this 2 of Pentacles, and it kind of like fought me and almost landed here reversed. So I do feel like there's almost like this indecision, this juggling, do I put my energy into this? Do I put my energy into that? And I feel like that's kind of what you might still be working through, or you already have just came out of that. And I feel like to really just kind of help is like, I mean, obviously you got to make sure all your ends are met and you got to balance things out. So if your pace is slower, that's okay. That's okay. I used to tell myself that the only way I was going to be successful was if I sat here and grinded day in, day out, every day. And is that beneficial? Yeah, to an extent, until it like declines on your health and your life. So, don't believe that bullshit narrative that the only way you can make it or be successful is if you sit there and suffer and kill yourself day and day and day and day and day until finally you eventually make it. Like, no. If you have the right ingredients, you have the right energy into it, it's going to grow. And I feel like that might be what someone's understanding. Someone might be changing their definition of success as well. What is success to you? Some people think, well, success is, having mansions and cars and, but, is that? I mean, I guess it would show that you have a lot of money, which I guess would show that you probably have been successful in something. But is that really what success means to you? Is that really what you are after? Or is successful, everyone's fed, everyone's taken care of. It's a happy home. We did good work and we rested and we woke up did it again or something along those lines. So I don't know. I feel like someone is changing their expectations. They might be getting a little more realistic about something, or at least loosening up. And that Two of Pentacles again coming out. So I do feel like there's like a balancing act. Yeah, we've got this Knight of Pentacles with the Prince of Pentacles. So there could be a bit of a balancing act. You know, you got to maintain the necessities, the essentials of life, but you still want to pursue this path. So there's this energy of like, okay, I now have a better understanding of my priorities and what's important to me. And I'm now going to take a more balanced approach in balancing this dance or mastering it and really, you know, reaping and sowing and receiving and doing. Like, it's not all about just like do. And, you know, you also have to be in the feminine energy of receive as well. So there is just this like, balancing your own energy and coming into an alignment and not being too much of one thing or too less of another, or you're really coming back into center and being in harmony with yourself, with your soul. And because you are finding that within you, you're now going to see a different trajectory and you're going to experience your reality differently. And we have this star card again, a star on top of the page. It's like a fresh new star, you know, little baby star that's still got a lot to grow, a lot to gain, a lot to shine on, a lot, you know, and it's just like you're still in your journey. Ace of Swords on top of the Justice. It's like, yeah, I mean, look at a giant 100-year-old oak tree and then look at an acorn. Ain't that crazy? that little acorn, just that little thing, that little nut with the hat on, and it became that big oak tree. Maybe it became someone's house. I don't know. But it's like, you know, just because it's small right now doesn't mean that it is small. There's a lot of potential, a lot of growth in something. So something does seem young, it seems fresh, and it feels like it's going to grow. And, you know, you really might be blown away when the growth comes in, the evidence of that growth comes in. It's like, wow, I was not expecting that. Yeah. We had the Star and the Morning card. So it definitely is just like, it's a new day to shine. And then we got the Fool. After I said a new day to shine, a new day to be a star. So you may as well have Star and Fool energy right there. The Fool and the Star. This is where you're headed. This is what you are. This is what you were destined to be. Wow. You know, I'm imagining the entirety of the universe being compressed into singularity and then exploding outward like a big bang. And I'm kind of getting that's almost like what someone is experiencing, like a supernova or something. Like a birth. I'm really getting this. Like it's a birth of a star. Okay. Anything else? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Seven of Swords with the Devil. It's not a good energy. I mean, it's exactly what it is. But we have Judgment and Death. You know what I really feel like this is? This was the devil within, right? This is the worry, the doubts. I mean, think about it. When the serpent tempted Eve, the serpent didn't like tell Eve to do something. The serpent questioned God. The serpent questioned, had Eve, you know, and twisted it, you know, twisted the words. You know, God said, you know, don't eat the fruit. And then the serpent's like, but God didn't say not to touch it. And then Eve's like, oh, you know, you're right. And that's how it all starts. It's just, it's a little seed of doubt, a little questioning. I'm a question myself. I'm a question Is this worth? Is it? And that's when it sets in. That's when the devil starts taking root in your mind and working you and working you. And before you know it, you feel like you're hopeless, you feel like you're worthless, and you feel like it's not even worth trying. Don't let the devil do that to you. And one of the greatest ways to stay on top of that is always know that you're doing it out of love. It's coming from your heart. And when you remind yourself it's love, who can stop love? Devil sure can't. Devil don't even understand love. So it's like, all right, overcoming the devil within our mind and still seeing our potential, still seeing our light, and not condemning ourselves because we think we didn't make some kind of expectations that we're holding ourselves to. Who put that standard on you? You did. No one else did. So let it go because it's hurting you. It's hurting your feelings. And it's discouraging you to continue. And this is what that judgment and death is. That's that ego death. And now there's this illumination. Aha, I understand now. It's within me. I have the power. I have the ability. I just got to keep going. Wow, good luck. Godspeed and God bless you. And, I'm grateful that you are willing to face these things about yourself. Because so many times the devil has gotten in someone's head and they believed it. They believed the devil and then they fell. And then they failed to answer the call because they doubted or they feared or they thought they weren't enough. Whatever it may be, however the devil got in there, the devil gets in there. We'll fester some shadow and some wounds. We're going to try to get you separated from God, try to get you separated from love so you don't feel empowered, so you don't feel worthy, so you don't feel good enough, so you don't receive the abundance, so you don't have success and happiness. Let me snuff that out from you. And someone woke up and didn't let it. That's powerful. That is powerful. Temperance. Temperance after the 10 of swords, right? After this mental breakthrough, now it's peace. Because you're not holding on to the things that were disturbing your peace. Why are you not happy? Well, I'm not happy because I feel like this, and then, well, why do you feel like that? Well, because I feel like, or I think, or I believe that it should be this. And I was like, well, does it? Who said that it does? My desire to do this, or my fear of this. We got to understand what's speaking to us. Is it our wounds? Is it our pride? Is it our fears? Or are we doing it from the heart out of love? And I feel like someone had to take a strong assessment of a lot of things in life and see what is and what isn't. And simply let the things that need to be let go. Just let it go. And now we have peace. We have peace of the mind and forward movement. Wow. Yeah, you're leaving that behind, those 8 of cups. You realize those cups you were holding on to don't serve you. That's why they're empty. That's why they're going off in these choppy waters off the sea in the deeps of the abyss. And you're leaving behind. You're climbing up this hill on dry land. You're headed towards that 9th cup, that wish fulfillment, that satisfaction in life, what your soul is seeking. But you had to leave these other cups go, these 8 cups, these empty cups. And that could have been like a belief. That cup was an expectation. That cup was, motivation, and so on and so forth. And we had to go through and look at the chalices. What are we holding within us and what needs to be poured out? And now that you have poured this out, you have made room within you for God to pour into you. You can't pour into a full cup. It's got to be empty. You got to empty it out. You got to make room for God in your life. And the way you do that is by removing the things that aren't of God, like the devil. And someone just put themselves in alignment, and it's powerful, and he just calls the shift. And this may have been part of that energy we dealt with leading up to the new moon we just had, and then bam, right after the new moon, breakthrough. Now you have room for the new to come in. And we saw those pentacles. We saw that Empress energy. That's what you're about to receive because you made way for it to come into your life. You were holding on to so much, it didn't have any room. The abundance, the return, the growth, it didn't have any room in your life because you were holding on to all these fears, these expectations, these wounds, these doubts, whatever it may be. And that's what kept you. But you freed yourself and now you're moving forward and there's a lot of growth ahead of you. And it's successful. It's really successful. And I feel like something that has previously not been seen to you is about to be made obvious, and it's going to inspire you about yourself. You're going to realize like this was valuable, this was important, and this was good, and I'm on the right path, and I feel good about this, and I want to keep going. And I feel like there's a level of gratitude and appreciation for even the journey up till now. All right. I'm going to go ahead and leave this reading here. If you like the way that I read, please be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. I will see you on the next collective message.